Hi, I'm your host, Dave Upton for In-Cab RC Photography. What better way to share your hobby with friends and family than by your own collection of aerial photographs? Virtually everyone would like to see the view from an RC aircraft. With the aid of this inclusive video, you will have the tools to install and take fabulous RC aerial photographs. Stay tuned for the bonus footage at the end of this video where I will show you how to compose great aerial photographs with the aid of a video link at the beautiful Pacific coast. First, we'll start by installing the batteries. This requires two AA cells. We'll open the bottom and we'll install the batteries in the correct direction. Snap the cover back on. Now we'll load the film into the camera. All we need to do is push the tab, which releases the back. Now with the bottom facing up towards you, and a roll of what we recommend would be 200 film speed to 400 film speed. Place the film in the bottom of the camera and take the tip over to where it says film tip, and then we'll slide the film down inside. You may need to rotate the canister slightly to get it to go all the way into the drive mechanism. Now simply snap the back. As I hit the button after we've installed the film in the back of the camera, you will hear the motor wind forward and then it will come up on frame number 1. Now the camera is ready for installation in our RC aircraft. Now we'll start on our installation of the camera out at the field. The aircraft we have chosen is the 1/4 scale Piper J-3 Cub. Let's install the camera using the same method shown earlier. Finger tighten the nylon bolt. Before tightening, be sure to plug the camera servo into the receiver. Don't forget to firmly tighten the camera down before flight. Now that we have the servo plugged into the receiver, as you can see where the camera is currently placed, it will make for an excellent side view. If you choose to change the view to a forward view, it's very simple. All we need to do is loosen the nylon bolt, turn the camera facing forward, trying to center it in the middle of the windshield. Then we just retighten the nylon bolt and you're ready for a front shot. Now we're ready to install the wing. Make sure before you've installed the wing that your camera shutter lens is in the open position. Otherwise you might be frustrated because you'll have to remove your wing again. The next important item we must check is the balance of our aircraft after we have installed the camera. Our J-3 Cub balances approximately on the spar about 25% back. So let's quickly check to make sure that we're pointing slightly nose downward. The last thing we want is a tail heavy condition on our RC aircraft. Another important item I strongly recommend is checking your batteries before we go out to fly. Our batteries check out okay. Now we'll pre-flight our aircraft with a quick radio check. We'll start with the ailerons, correct direction, elevator, and rudder. Now that your aircraft is airborne, let's talk about a few of the items you will need to know about taking aerial stills. Holding still and flying a heading are very important. With our current camera location looking out the nose, we can obtain some great aerial stills. Now let's climb up to an altitude around 400 feet or so and level off. Now by depth perception, point the nose at a heading you desire to take an aerial photograph of. I've had the best results by pointing the nose downward about 3 to 5 degrees. This will give you a photograph that's showing a little more landscape instead of so much sky. With the aircraft pointed in the desired direction with the nose pointed down, let's click off a couple of frames. I normally will count to 1001 and release, 1001 and release. This gives the servo plenty of time to transition, click the shutter button, and then release and be ready for the next photograph. By using the counting method, it can aid you on taking a sequence of aerial photographs. Here are just a few of the stills taken looking out of the front of the J-3 Cub. Don't be disappointed if all your photos don't turn out the first time you go to the field. This is a talent that takes time to learn, and it takes a lot of practice. But you'll find that over time and a few rolls of film, you too will be able to take great aerial stills. The side view is another great camera angle. If you desire to take a picture of the runway, for instance, I would recommend flying out from yourself about 200 feet away and 150 to 200 feet above the ground. This will give you a good perspective of the runway. It is important you remember which side of the aircraft the camera is pointed out from. With this in mind, fly the aircraft at the recommended altitude and fly the aircraft with the inboard wing pointed downward about 5 to 10 degrees. This will take some rudder manipulation to hold a parallel flight path to the runway. Wing is dipped and it's pointing at us. I'm seeing the camera. We'll click another photo off in hopes of a shot of the runway. Using our 1001 count, another photo. Here are a few photos taken looking out the side of the Cub. Let's land the Cub and change our camera angle.